Donald Trump is unlikely to become our next president, but his campaign to become the chief douchebag is defying all expectations. Now, he already offended pretty much everybody in the world, except for white supremacists, with his comments about Mexican immigrants being racists and drug dealers and rapists, in fact. Let's see what he can do with the topic of golf. So he said this just a couple of months ago when speaking with Fortune magazine about golf. He said, "I feel golf should be an aspirational game, something people aspire to. People should come to golf. Golf shouldn't come to them. Golf should be something beautiful, elegant, something people aspire to play eventually. It may be elitist, and perhaps that's what golf needs. Let golf be elitist." He goes on to say, "When I say aspire, that's a positive word. Let people work hard and aspire to someday be able to play golf, to afford to play it. They're trying to teach golf to people who will never be able to really play it." I think we can fill in who he's talking about there. "They're trying too hard. Because of the expense of playing and the land needed, golf is never going to be basketball, where all you need is a court. All these great athletes, you know what they do when they retire? They do nothing but play golf. Basketball players, hockey players, football players, all they want to do is golf. Let it be aspirational instead of bringing it down by trying to get players to do it when they're 15 years old and they're also learning other sports. I think it's very damaging to the game."
Donald Trump is such a piece of shit. It's funny because he talks about his wealth so much, and I wonder why he hasn't been able to afford a good hairstylist or a good tanner, someone who will spray tan him with a color that doesn't make him look like an Oompa Loompa. Like you know what though? I think that a good tan should be reserved for those who aren't douchebags. Okay, let them aspire to not be douchebags. Let them have a nice deep dark tan. No, I'm joking around, obviously, but Howard, is he really disparaging basketball?
Basketball?
Why?
People
because
who
is it
want to learn golf?
Is it because black people totally outnumber every other group in the NBA? And is he trying to make a point about
I don't
the
know
black
if he's
community?
making a point about that specifically, but yeah, he is for some reason choosing basketball as the point of comparison.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting comparison. And also, basketball rocks and golf sucks.
Well, golf doesn't suck.
Do you play golf?
I'm too poor. I've never been able to.
Oh, good point.
For me, it's aspirational. But I've been to driving ranges. I've been to mini golf. That was quite fun. I played Wii golf. And if that's anything like the real thing, then 2 thumbs up.
Look, I'm not a sports expert, and I'm not going to pretend like the commentary I'm about to give is top-notch or high quality. But this is what I will say. From what I have observed from basketball versus golf, it takes a tremendous amount of athletic ability, skill, endurance, stamina to play basketball. With golf, yes, it takes some skill, but I don't think it takes nearly as much skill. You could be a fat piece of shit like Donald Trump and play golf.
Yeah.
But to play,
well, I would say it takes less raw athletic ability, but it certainly takes a lot of skill. I mean, it's not.
Yes, it does.
It's the same people are winning these tournaments over and over.
You
so
got to get a ball into a little hole on the ground. It takes a lot of skill. I'm not.
I don't know why you're throwing it out. You're doing the exact opposite of Donald Trump.
I know.
Kasparian, not for the presidency.
Okay, so let me give you my serious commentary now that I've needlessly said shitty things about golf players. I mean, Donald Trump is the polar opposite of Bernie Sanders, okay? Donald Trump believes that there should be income and wealth inequality. He believes that there should be a huge disparity between the rich and the poor. He feels that he's elite and anyone who is not in the same socioeconomic status as him is beneath him. He is a deplorable, disgusting human being.
Yes.
He does not think of anyone other than those in his socioeconomic status as people. He thinks of them as throwaways, as people who don't deserve any representation. So the question is, does someone like that deserve to be the president of the United States, a country that was founded on the antithesis of what Donald Trump represents?
Yeah.
Of course he doesn't, right? And the fact that he is still polling relatively well among the Republican Party is disgusting. It's disgusting. It shows you what the Republican Party stands for. They don't stand for you or me. They stand for garbage. Donald Trump is garbage. He wants to represent garbage. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah, and so all of the major organizations in the golf world, the LPGA, all of those different groups have come out recently and attacked him in a somewhat weak way for what he was saying about immigrants. And so there's no one that people love to turn their back on more than Donald Trump. I mean, people won't even bother to red wedding him. They just walk out of the room. Nobody's interested.
And here's another question I want to ask you guys. Do we really want another president who's obsessed with playing golf?
It didn't go well the last time, though.
That should be like a platform that politicians run on.
And Obama plays basketball.
I hate golf.
Exactly.
Right? I will not
get
play
why
golf.
You're so anti-golf.
I'm not anti-golf. I hate the elitist connotation involved in golf and the people who play golf. It disgusts me. I hate that elitist attitude. Golf is totally fine. Unfortunately, you have people like Donald Trump that turn it into like this ridiculous anti-American thing.
Yeah, and want it to be elitist in the way that turns you
Right.
off. Yeah, and so a lot of you are probably thinking, why are we covering this? Why does it matter? But it does matter because it represents, and this is before he was even technically running for the presidency, like people had concerns that Joe Biden, anytime he ran, he was going to say the wrong thing. Or Chris Christie, he's too brusque. He's going to say the wrong thing. No, they can sort of maintain themselves. Chris Christie has some self-control over what comes out of his mouth anyway. Joe Biden can mask all of his faux pas in sort of a folksy charm, but Donald Trump doesn't have that. I mean, you listen to this guy speak, and unless you are just the most virulent kind of racist, you want nothing to do with it whatsoever. That's why he's not going to be the president.
He's Mr. Burns.
He
Right?
is Mr. Burns. Yeah, but Mr. Burns at least didn't try the comb over. He was willing to just go bald.
Just go
He
bald.
doesn't have the balls that Mr. Burns has.
Mr. Burns didn't go bald, though. He liked the weird side thing that people like to keep.
Yeah,
you know?
you cling to the scraps.
Just let it go. Shave your head.
Let it go, yeah.